I thought it was all over.
And this is Nick, your host of Roll Coverage, coming to you today, 8:15. A lot of stuff in the news, a lot of stuff going on. I want to start, though, with the Neymar trade. Neymar is officially going to Al-Hilal on a $90 million deal. Now, obviously, PSG lost him. They lost Messi to Inter Miami. Rumors that they might lose Mbappe. Now, obviously, I haven't done any research if it just happened this morning. I do apologize about that. In fact, I'm going to look real quick just to be safe. But I'm pretty sure Mbappe still has not signed. Oh, positive talks about a contract extension. I don't know about that whole thing, but this $90 million for him to go, just a transfer fee for him to go to Al-Hilal is being ridiculed by so many people. Now, obviously, I understand why. A lot of people are PSG fans. A lot of people are that high-end Champions League fans, and they really want to see Neymar continue to play for a top-tier club with a top-tier organization that's going to continue to contend for titles and everything like that. Plus, obviously, with Mbappe, Neymar's inherently helping with that. Mbappe's development is going to be amazing, and Neymar absolutely helped, especially Messi as well. So overall, I think they just wanted to keep the core together and everything. But this Saudi money is going to continue to become a problem. It's already become a problem in the PGA Tour space with the Live Golf acquisition. It's become a problem with Cristiano Ronaldo, the billion-dollar deal that was offered to Messi. There's a lot of guys that are going to start going to these Saudi leagues and start taking this Saudi money because, I mean, it's kind of insane, some of the offers that they're getting. Even the one for Neymar. I mean, this deal's ridiculous. I'm pulling up the exact number to be safe. Yeah, Neymar transfer from PSG to Al-Hilal is no threat to Europe. Yeah, he has a $90 million transfer fee, but I want to say it was like 160 total. So I mean, he's getting what he wants. He's getting the heck on out of there. He's going to do something else. Al-Hilal was the club that wanted to sign Messi. So if you remember that. So it's just it's the changing of the guard. Now, obviously, the Saudi money is going to continue to be a problem for sports teams and for sports fans alike. I just think that we are on the precipice of it becoming very, very, very normal for Saudi teams to own, or Saudi people to own, tens or hundreds of teams. We're already seeing large acquisitions with Newcastle and all that other stuff, so expect more to come down the road. They're obviously trying to develop their own league with the Saudi league and everything, Al-Hilal and all of them. Al-Nasser, which is who Cristiano Ronaldo plays for. So I'm going to definitely start watching the Saudi league. I think I'm going to start doing like a weekly coverage of the Saudi league just because it's going to become something in a few years, and I really think that we should watch that space. I think there will be some great players coming out of Saudi Arabia eventually. They're just being developed now, though, so that's going to take some time. So for that, I'm just going to say, Neymar, good luck. I'm glad you took the bag. You'll only be gone for 2 years, and then realistically, if you want to come back, you can. Neymar is currently, just to verify ages here, he is 31, so he'd be 33, 34 coming back. And you know what he does? He then takes all that money and goes to the MLS just like Messi did. Because at 34, I don't think he's going to go back to, he's not going to try and get back to the Premier League or get into the Premier League or anything like that. He's not going to do that. So Neymar is out 2 years. That's great. Let him go make his money. Let him go crush it in the Saudi League against Ronaldo. Him against Ronaldo would be some great games. But yeah, man, congrats. You deserve the money. You've worked very hard. PSG is obviously seeing a little bit of crumbling here, but hopefully that's going to change here in the coming days. PSG has always been a pretty decent organization. They're obviously completely dominating the French market for the most part. So I just want to see how that changes, especially if Mbappe chooses to not sign. Obviously, with the most recent reports, they're stating that they are moving towards a solution, but until it's signed, we don't know anything. And to be honest, it's very hard for me to see these guys turn down this crazy money, but I understand. Now that Mbappe could stay with PSG, he could be the guy there. So it makes sense. But yeah, good luck, man. Good luck. I'm obviously going to continue to watch Al-Hilal and Al-Nasser and all those other ones. But Neymar, you're going to smash it over there. You're going to win a lot of money. Going to make a lot of friends. Just make sure you come back west a little bit when you retire. I would love to see Neymar come play for my Charlotte FC. I mean, obviously pipes and dreams here, but I'm hoping with the acquisition of Messi and all these other great guys coming over from Europe and South America. So, yeah, good luck, Neymar. You're going to crush it. This is Nick with Roll Coverage. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. This is Nick with Roll Coverage. Moving on to the next topic. We're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Now, obviously, it's a big jump from where we were just talking about with Neymar, but I mean, it's going to be kind of crazier with the whole 49ers thing this year. I'm specifically going to talk about an ESPN report, who I will link in here. Nick Wagner of the ESPN, he's a staff writer, it seems, wrote an article August 14th, 2023, posted about 6 p.m., just in case you guys want to go find it. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy cleared for practice without off day. If Brock Purdy makes it back onto the field, the 49ers are absolutely going to trade Trey Lance. Now, I understand that Trey Lance isn't good at football, hasn't really shown anything. He's very much the Jordan Love of the 49ers right now, and I don't think he has a lot of trade opportunity. Now, obviously, there's some teams out there that would pay, maybe a 2, maybe a 3 if you're lucky. Let's flip that 3-2 if you're lucky. But yeah, I don't see him fetching a whole lot. I see no top tier pick for obviously the 49ers. They're obviously trying to contend for a Super Bowl, so they're not going to be able to go get the number 1 pick or anything like that, unless they obviously trade everything. I do see the Arizona Cardinals going and getting the first round pick. They're just going to suck this year. They're going to trade Kyler, so that could eventually make its way to the 49ers. I think that would be an interesting one. Trey Lance, a Niners first round pick, and maybe a Niners 5th or 6th round pick. So Lance 1, maybe a 5 for Kyler. Kyler will already have a pretty high contract, so you'll be able to slot him into that system if for some reason Brock or one of these other guys don't work. Now, obviously, the 49ers system does not need or is not quarterback dependent. So I don't really see them going to go get a big-time quarterback. I think they hit gold with Brock Purdy, who can execute their vision the way that Shanahan wanted Mac Jones to in the previous, was it 2 years ago draft? Yeah. So Mac was what he wanted. They ended up going to get Trey Lance. I don't understand why. I think it's because they were looking for the athleticism, whereas Brock Purdy doesn't have the athleticism. He has the accuracy of Mac Jones. Now, obviously, their stats are a little bit comparable. I'll put them on the screen. But it's just, it's very interesting to see all these teams. I'm going to point out a few real quick. The Ravens are very hyper-dependent on Lamar Jackson. The Bills are very hyper-dependent on Allen. Chiefs with Mahomes, Burrow and the Bengals. There's a lot. There's a lot of teams that need that top tier quarterback to make their system work. Yet Kyle Shanahan, has developed a system that is basically given to anybody. I mean, if I could throw a football as good as them, which I definitely can't get anywhere near it. Shoot, I could probably go out there. It was always the Bill Belichick adage of like wide receivers, like, oh, he's just going to go get a bag boy and they're going to go win a Super Bowl. Like, I truly believe that Shanahan can use any quarterback and do pretty much whatever he wants. The one quarterback I would have been really interested to see him with would have been Anthony Richardson, with the size and the capability. I just don't know if the accuracy is there yet. And Shanahan needs accuracy and play recognition, really knowing that playbook, really taking over the system and knowing the ins and outs, because it's obviously a very complex system as well. And I think Brock Purdy was able to get in there and really understand that. I do believe that is an indictment on Trey Lance, just like Jordan Love. It's an indictment. If he can't handle the pressure, he can't handle the playbook and everything, and the Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy shows up and is able to just go, oh yeah, I understand this, and then able to go out there and execute, it shows that Trey Lance was arguably the biggest draft bust of all time, considering the amount of starts he has to this point. And I think that it just shows that regardless of what you did in a college or anything like that, it doesn't matter if you don't translate. I'm going to use that to parlay into my team very briefly, my Carolina Panthers went out and got Bryce Young with the number 1 pick, who I am ecstatic over. I was really happy to see him in the preseason game. He did take a pretty decent hit, but he bounced back no problem. I'm very happy. I like the guys that understand how to manipulate the pocket, how to get the ball out safely, get the ball out accurately, and go through their progressions. And you're seeing that from Bryce Young. You're seeing that from Brock Purdy. Shoot, you're even seeing that from Darnold with his little bomb down the side. That was actually a pretty awesome play. You're not seeing that from Trey Lance. Trey Lance was able to succeed in college because of his athleticism. He was so much better than everybody else. North Dakota State has like a lineage of being one of the top programs in the country. So Trey Lance was masked. He was covered up all of his issues and then was able to translate that over into actually getting drafted high, but he can't produce on the field. Now, I 100% do believe that they're going to trade him. I just don't know if it's going to be during the season or preseason, before draft deadline, whatever. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to start looking at it in the offseason, and they're going to try and get as much value out of him as possible because they know that he's not it. Whether or not that's shipping him to be a backup somewhere, to be honest, I think Trey Lance could be good in like a Jalen Hurts style offense where he can like really utilize his athleticism. Same thing with Baltimore. I just think that the stigma of all the bad that's happened so far is not going to go away when he goes to another team. So for that, I'm going to say that Trey Lance is going to be one of the top 3 draft busts of all time. I think he's already top 5. I think that when his quote unquote career is over, it's not going to be good. So they're going to play Brock Purdy. He's been named a starter. Darnold's probably going to be the 2, and then Lance is going to fall into the Jimmy Garoppolo position from last year. He's 5th on the depth chart and all that other stuff, and they'll go out and get somebody else, Nate Sudfeld or whoever the hell they need to be a 3, a 4, or 5. But there is no reason why you need to keep Trey Lance on the payroll. You need to get him out of the building. You need to just get that. Just stop. The problem that it runs into is the old, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. That's where this is. Because you guys are keeping Trey Lance around, I understand the whole keeping the feet to the fire kind of thing, but that's not going to work here. You need Brock Purdy to fully buy into the system. You need him to buy in emotionally, physically, and everything. And if you constantly have Trey Lance on his neck, that's going to be a problem. I truly believe that Sam Darnold understands that he's the 2 now to Brock Purdy. There's no way that Darnold takes that job unless Darnold is just able to truly ascend the playbook and truly understand it. Now, he's a USC guy, so Darnold's really smart. I loved him on my Panthers. I just think he's the Josh Allen, the hard-headedness of, I can make this happen. I can make this work. I could do this. And it's just throw the ball away, throw it short, do something. Don't just always put it in your hands or huck it in a deep ball. That's not how we win long-term. And we've seen that. So I'm glad that the 49ers are finally deciding what to do. I think it's going to be Purdy, Darnold, and then another. It'd be great to trade Lance out. Even if you have to swap him out for like a 5th and a swap for another backup, it'd be better than what you have now. Like I said, it'd be good to go to San Francisco. And now I'm going to go back to the quarterback thing, the quarterback Netflix series, where Mariota said that he really wanted to play on the West Coast. Why don't you do a trade that trades Trey Lance to the Eagles to be backup to Jalen Hurts, and then you go get Mariota, bringing him to the West Coast, and then he'll be a die-hard 49er. You brought him closer to his home, especially since he just had a kid. I think that'd be a great way to build rapport, and he understands that he's not the number 1. He understands that this system is going to require multiple quarterbacks, so he just needs to stay on his A game, because when he does get on the field, he's going to be able to produce in that system. So that is my 49ers bubble for today. Purdy's been cleared. Darnold's going to be the 2. They should trade Lance for Mariota. Then Mariota and Darnold could fight it. And even then, in your quarterback room, you guys have what? Darnold's cheap contract and then a few million for Mariota? Like, that's a no-brainer. Take that. And then Purdy's deal is a joke. So, to be honest, I would have already offered Purdy a deal. I would have given him like a 5-year, $30 million deal and be like, you want to take it? Or, I would say, $30 million a year. I would have just gotten him a contract super early, gotten him signed. So this way, if he does flesh out, great. And if he doesn't, you do the voidable years, you do all that other stuff to protect the team. So that's my tinfoil hat theory of the 49ers right now. Congrats, Brock Purdy for going from Mr. Irrelevant to the starter of the San Francisco 49ers. I am super excited to see what you're going to do in the future. I'm super excited to see what the team is going to do. I love Kyle Shanahan, love the system, and you're going to do amazing in it, man. So this is Nick at Roll Coverage. We'll be back in just a minute. I am here to welcome back everybody to Roll Coverage. This is your host, Nicholas McCandless. I want to bring it down a little bit. We're going to touch on a subject that's a little tough. Looks like last night, former Arkansas running back, former Seattle Seahawk, passed away. Of course, speaking about Alex Collins, who passed away at 28 due to a motorcycle crash. I am going to read a part of the article from ESPN done by Jamison Hensley, an ESPN staff writer. It titled, Ex-NFL running back, Arkansas star Alex Collins dies at 28 in motorcycle crash, if you guys want to go find it. Things that I know about him was I'm a huge fan of Arkansas. Whenever I play NCAA football 14, which I know a lot of people still do, one of my favorite teams to do it or to rebuild was always Arkansas. I don't know why. University of South Carolina, Vanderbilt, just some weird teams, just something different. And, I definitely remember, loading him into a few custom rosters and doing all that other stuff. He was a great player for them. Donated a lot, left behind quite a few siblings, I believe 5. And it's sad. But regardless, I'm going to get to the article. Mr. Jamison Hensley, again, ESPN staff writer. This is all directly from him in his article. Alex Collins, the former Arkansas running back who went on to play 5 seasons in the NFL, died after he was involved in a motorcycle crash in the Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. On Sunday night, the Broward County Sheriffs said in a news release. He was 28. So according to the news release, Collins crashed into a SUV on West Oakland Park Boulevard. The SUV was making a left turn when Collins' motorcycle hit its rear passenger side, causing him to go through the window and come to rest inside the vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, obviously, Ravens, Seahawk, a lot of people are going to be affected by this. This obviously gives the new season a whole change. Regardless of what he did in the NFL, which he did have, a few good years. The man. So many people lost out on the man. The person that changed lives. I'm not saying changed a lot of lives, but that's irrelevant. Changing a life is enough. It doesn't need to be changing the world. I'm deeply saddened. My condolences go out to the family. I wish that there was something that could be done to help protect these athletes. Obviously, this is a situation of a motorcycle crash in Florida, which I know quite a bit about. I spent the overwhelming majority of my life living in Florida, as well as riding motorcycles. I've been in multiple myself, some that I'm very happy I walked away from with just bumps and scratches. So I definitely understand the mental state. I understand maybe the frustration. I used to love going on my bike, giving her way too much gas and just letting it fly. And obviously that puts you into some bad predicaments. I just hope that his family is able to heal. I'm hopeful that his family is able to grow. I don't want to say move on, but just be able to cope with the immense loss that they just suffered. So again, my heart goes out to the family, to the organizations, to everybody, but most importantly, the family, the siblings, everybody that's there. I just hope that it gets better for you guys soon. I hope that you guys can be able to handle the rest. I definitely know what it feels like to lose family. So for that, the end of this, I'm going to throw up a 30-second timer, and I'm going to have a moment of silence. Moment of silence for Mr. Alex Collins passing away. Hey, man, I really wish we could have seen you do more in football, both NFL and other. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. This is Nick with Roll Coverage. Welcome back to Roll Coverage. This is your host, Nick. I want to get right into it and start talking about two running backs that just got signed, both Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook. Now, honestly, I dealt with Dalvin Cook quite a bit in fantasy last year. Dealt with Ezekiel Elliott quite a bit, to be honest. We did call it. We did say that Ezekiel Elliott would be headed to the New England Patriots. And just to be upfront, I think he will be at least a 1,000-yard rusher and 10 touchdowns. If he ends up with 9, don't come at me. But Ezekiel Elliott's going to do a lot with the New England Patriots this year, with Ramondre Stevenson. That offense, I'm pretty sure they have Gesicki, Hunter Henry. Wide receiver core is nothing to write home about. I really wish they would have gotten a Jalen Hyatt or an Njigba or somebody like that in the draft. But obviously they went a different direction. They really need a better number one wide receiver. I'm going to pull up theirs just because I should have already had it up. The Patriots depth are... Oh, that's right. They got Juju. Okay, so I'm not the biggest fan of Juju. Devontae Parker, I like. Kendrick Bourne, I like. He's all right. Tyquan Thornton, I really like. I just love the whole quarterback controversy in New England. I'm sorry. I was just looking at something where they have Malik Cunningham, Trace McSorley, Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones being the starter. And there was a big thing on Rich Eisen where he was talking about that people want Malik Cunningham on already. It's like, no, dude, Mac Jones is the starter. Bailey Zappi is a Dollar General version of Mac Jones. Obviously, I haven't done a whole lot of research on Malik Cunningham yet. Still pretty new, so we're going to see exactly what he can do. But yeah, Hunter Henry, Gesicki, Fursker. Defense is good. Judon, Uchi, Duggar, Peppers. I like what they have. Now, their division's going to be real tough. Going over to the New England Patriots schedule real quick. Obviously, preseason means nothing. I think they're going to lose to Philly. They'll split one of the games, Miami. I think they're going to smash the Jets. A lot of people are saying the Jets are going to be this like Super Bowl team and everything. They're going to split one of those. Or they're going to beat, I'm sorry, not split. They're going to beat New York. Yeah, they will split because I forgot 18th game. That division is going to be really tough. New England, Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets. Man, that division. I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. People are calling Buffalo to be 13 wins. Like, first of all, that's crazy. If it ends up the same as it was last year for the most part, it wouldn't surprise me. Buffalo ending 13-3, Miami 9-8, New England 8-9, Jets 7-10. If you swap Miami and the Jets, or be right around there, I don't think the Jets, I don't think New England is a 5 to 6 to 7 win team with Ezekiel Elliott on it as well. That immediately puts them in the 9-ish. So I think they'll be at least 9-8. The team that I truly believe will fall off will be Buffalo. I think Buffalo is in for a rude awakening this year. They did not go the right way when it came to their wide receiver room. They're still betting on guys like Gabe Davis and all that. So for that reason, I just think that Zeke in that division is going to smash. He's going to win a ton. But one of the other people he's going to be going up against is the other guy who just signed, Dalvin Cook, who signed with the Jets. Now, one of the first things I saw from a fan was somebody saying, oh, well, that's going to be good that he could split carries with Breece Hall. I was like, if you think that Dalvin Cook came there to be the backup to Breece Hall, you're crazy for one. Rodgers obviously took a pay cut to free up money that allowed this to happen. I like their running back room. They do have Zonovan Knight and Michael Carter. I just think that it's going to be Dalvin Cook as the overwhelming bell cow. So if you didn't take him in fantasy, you're crazy. Like I said, in my first 7 of the 50 fantasy teams I'm doing this year, I was able to take him quite often. And I mean really often. I have Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, and Alvin Kamara in, I think, all 7. If not, I might be missing Kamara in one of them. But people would literally let Dalvin Cook slide to the 5th, 6th round where I'd be able to pick him up for basically nothing. Like, oh, do I want the backup running back for the Dolphins, or do I want free agent Dalvin Cook. Oh yeah, I want free agent Dalvin Cook, or I want free agent Ezekiel Elliott. Like, these are givens. You shouldn't even be thinking about this. But that's my whole thing on that. I like the acquisition of Cook for the Jets. Breece Hall is returning from an ACL injury. Cook is obviously an incredibly versatile back. He can receive. He can run amazing. He could be a 2,000-yard rusher if he really wanted to. He would have to cut a lot of those receptions down. I think he'd be 2,000 overall, no problem. I don't want to say no problem, but I think he could be a 2,000 total rushing and receiver 1 year if he hasn't already. Dalvin Cook is going to change that offense quite a bit, and it's going to pull a lot of that stuff away from hucking the ball down the field because, man, Dalvin's going to be nice and short. Dalvin. If you wanted to win, I don't know why you went to the Jets. I personally would have taken a cheaper contract, go to the Chiefs. You in the Chiefs offense with those shovel passes and everything, dude, you'd end up with like 15 touchdowns. It'd be crazy. He arguably could run for an MVP with the Chiefs easier than he could with the Jets because the Jets are going to have to diversify the ball. They're going to have to get a lot of people involved. And with the recent practice with my Carolina Panthers, we saw them get stopped on, I think it was a red zone, a 2-minute drill or something like that. And Rodgers was already frustrated and everything like that. They're going to go through a lot of adversity. I want to see their first game. Let me pull it up. Jets' first game is at Buffalo, where they're going to take a big fat L. Then they're going to go to Dallas and take another L. Then they're going to go to New England and have a fight on their hands. Then they're going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Then they're going to have a fight with Denver and then another fight with Philly where they get a break, quote unquote, with the Giants and Saquon Barkley to then go to the Chargers. Like, dude, theirs is a gauntlet. If the Jets make it out 8-9 or, just about 500, that's a win. There's no way this team makes a Super Bowl run. The Jets are just... You guys are smoking something good. You guys got to start sharing it because I don't know how y'all think you're going to be able to go through this gauntlet of people, especially if any of these quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud turns out to be, a competent NFL quarterback and can actually give you some pushback. If Tua stays healthy, if Sam Howell can actually do anything, if Deshaun Watson returns to any form of prominence, if Sean Payton can actually get Russell Wilson in there, I mean, there's 2 L's right there. Like you guys were seriously going to go through a gauntlet with the Jets. So for that reason, I'm saying that Dalvin Cook going to the Jets is not what he should have done. I'm going to give it a C overall trade or acquisition, whatever you want to call it. I just don't. Dalvin. You could have gone to such better places. I understand you were getting pulled over and you're getting a sweetheart deal from Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but come on, man. You have got to do something else. You've got to change it up. You've got to... I'm excited. Like I said, I'm taking him in fantasy. I expect him to do well. I expect him to be a running back 1 for the most part, even if he's a low 1. I just don't think it was the best option for him. And for that reason, the running back market's changing. The Jonathan Taylor thing, Josh Jacobs still being unsigned. I think that if Zeke comes out here and puts up 1,000 yards, a bunch of touchdowns, it'll absolutely parlay into another season and he'll actually get a decent contract. I think Dalvin Cook is going to try to do the same thing. I just think Dalvin doesn't. I think Dalvin was sold a bill of goods that's not going to end up being valid. I think that he's going to get a much less target share, obviously. He's going to not get as many rushes with Breece Hall there. He's going to be a running back like 1.5 instead of running back 1 or 2. So he's going to be kind of in that middle ground, that mid to late 1. So good luck, Dalvin. Good luck, Zeke. I'm obviously pulling for you guys. I want you guys both to do well. I hope the Jets give you the target share you're looking for, Dalvin, and I hope that you get the opportunity in New England, Zeke, to be able to show us what an amazing back you are and that the Cowboy days are behind you and that you're still able to come out there and really affect a game.